this video has so many jewels in it. So many. And at this point, I'm convinced that nothing is really what we think it is. All right? And when you're looking for the truth, you most definitely have to be a detective. So with that being said, man, let's jump into this video, man, and see what it is that he has to say about us living in a light code matrix.
The language of God is mathematics, because mathematics can literally explain everything that we experience and everything also that exists. Even the fact that we're existing in a light matrix can be proven through mathematics. So we're living in a matrix that's basically written on mathematics called Adinkra codes. And these Adinkra codes go all the way back to the Dogons, the Dogon tribes out of Mali, Africa.
Yeah.
They actually originated these codes, and they were.
Now, for those of you who don't know who the Dogon tribe is, these are one of the oldest living beings on the planet, okay? And the Nomos, in which he's going to speak to, these people, they were chasing the reptilians, right? Well, not the reptilians, the Greys, actually. They came through here chasing the Greys, and they wanted to seek information on the Greys. So in order to get that information, they gave them the history of the universe, and they started to teach them new things so that they would give them, you know, the information on the Greys, because the Greys were sort of kind of like their slaves. But let's get into this.
Given these codes by the Nomo, and they learned them. They drew them out as art forms. But now, and they put them on clothing and blankets and everything else.
So the Dogon tribe, very interesting tribe, you know, that was able to discover, you know, systems before telescopes and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So how did they arrive to be able to, because I know a lot of people, I posted about this not too long ago, people want to understand how the hell did the Dogon tribe arrive to it, right? I just subscribe to, you know, us being, you know, gods, melanated beings on this planet Earth. We connected in a way that we just don't understand anymore. You understand me? And being multidimensional, I think about physics in that aspect where you're talking about things being entangled. You know, not Will and Jada entanglements, you understand me? But quantum entanglements.
Right, yeah.
And, you know, once you understand that, being multidimensional to me is easily understood from the fact that you can break us down to atoms, right? And then cells, and then we get into our skin and we see our physical. But from an atomic level, those are different laws, right? And we're made up of atoms. So that an aspect of our existence is obeying different laws of the universe. And then our cells are obeying different laws of gravity and magnetism, right, and flow. But then we as human beings are obeying different laws, right, of gravity and magnetism in the universe. And then we forget about the universal laws of our multidimensional self because we only know man's law.
Exactly.
You understand me? So I think being multidimensional is easily understood as above, so below. You understand me? But the idea of the Dogon people being able to chart systems, how were they able to figure that out? You understand me? Before the Europeans had an idea of what was out there.
Right. Well, to be honest with you, if you go all the way back to the ancient Dogon history, before they got to Mali, they were in the land of Kem. They were the original inhabitants of the land of Kem before it was called Egypt. And so...
Kem meaning the land of blacks?
The land of blacks, correct. Exactly, land of blacks. Kem was black, it's all black. That's in the tablets.
So Kem, so there's so much Jews in here, but so in Kem, you understand me, that's Africa.
Yeah.
Right? I know everybody calls the Middle East as if...
You know, it's Africa, man.
It's the Middle East is the most funniest made up concept, magical idea on the planet.
I know.
Because it's like, you have in Africa, but no, this is like the Middle East Africa. It doesn't count for sub-Saharan Africa, Northern Africa, and East Africa. Like, but it's Africa, right?
It's Africa.
Yeah, so...
I mean,
for those who don't
Cairo
know,
is in Africa.
Cairo's in Africa.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I know, people still get it wrong till this day.
That's crazy.
It surprises me. But so they, according to their records and their handed down verbal history, their records are etched into caves and stuff like that. The Nomo came here from Sirius B. Okay, so there's a trinary star system that we know of called Sirius, the Sirius star system, A, B, and C. B is a fail star. In other words, it ran out of fuel, turned into a white dwarf. These beings were orbiting on a planet that orbited that star, according to the Dogon, not me. Came here, they're called the Nomo. The Dogon called them the Nomo. Taught them all about the star system, the orbital pattern, our entire solar system, the names, the shapes, the sizes, the colors of all the planets in our solar system, all the planetary alignments. And they even knew that that white dwarf star was so gravitationally heavy that one spoonful couldn't be lifted by over 1 million men. They even knew that. We learned that in quantum mechanics and quantum physics in the 1970s, 1980s. We hypothesized it. And obviously we couldn't even see that star until the 1980s, 1970s,
Wow.
I'm sorry.
So when did they record it?
Thousands of years ago.
Thousands of years ago.
It's like, we're talking about over 6,000, 7,000 years. They had depictions of them and everything else, and they taught them how to make these Dogon masks, but they also gave them the Adinkra codes. Now these Adinkra codes look like designs on clothing and patterns. When you turn these designs into three-dimensional structures, they become something called error-correcting codes. And Professor James S. Gates, a black professor who used to be the science advisor for Obama when he was in office, he's now the professor, I believe, at the University of Maryland in supersymmetry and theoretical physics. He discovered these Adinkra codes. He rediscovered them, obviously, and he turned them into three-dimensional objects. And then from there, he found the error-correcting codes. He was analyzing and accessing information about the ether of space-time, and he discovered that the entire ether, in other words, everything this soup that we're operating in throughout the entire universe, is running on a specific code. It's called an Adinkra code. It's called error-correcting codes. The same exact kind of codes that run search engines and web browsers. Wow. That's what's running the universe.
This is amazing, y'all. See, one thing I love about Billy Carson is Billy Carson speaks nothing but facts from, I'm talking about years and years of research. Years. But see, the most important thing about what he said is what runs the universe are the same error codes that runs a computer. So what does that say about the universe that we live in? We are living in a computerized, generated world. Okay? It's fake. Everything around it is false. It's a program. Okay? And the fact of the matter is that we have become aware of it. But as you can see, the Dogon, they've been aware of it for years. All right? And so with that being said, man, I just want to leave y'all as I came. I want you guys to always be aware, because to be aware is to be alive. And as always, peace, family. Peace meaning positive energy always creates elevation. Ashay.